Joining us live on the phone is Eric LeGrand. Eric, good morning. How are you?
I'm doing good, Big J. How are you?
I am fantastic, man. It's you have been. This is just one heck of a journey. I mean, normally when we, when I try to sum up somebody's story, it's like, oh, you've done a few movies or you've come out with a few CDs or something. You have been through what seems like. I mean, it seems like you've been to hell and back just in the past few years, man. It's how's life today? Let's just jump to today. How's everything?
Life is good today. I'm doing therapy 5 days a week for 4 hours a day. I've been traveling all over with some motivational speaking. I do my Rutgers broadcasting out here. I get to work with the Rutgers football network and do the radio out here. Been decided to deal with Subway as one of their famous fans. And I just came out with my book yesterday, so things are going great over here.
Well, what a great attitude. That's and I think the book probably kind of sums that up too for anybody that's interested. There's an adult version, not adult like XXX, but adult like grown-ups. It's called Believe, My Faith and the Tackle That Changed My Life. And then for the younger people, for your kids, there's Believe, the victorious story of Eric LeGrand, so they can get the same message there, but at their level, which I think is really cool. Whose idea was that to come out with the youth and the adult version of the book?
Well, I was speaking with my publishers, HarperCollins, and we both were like, maybe you have such a reach out to the kids. We should come up with a children's and adult version. I was just like, that's perfect. I would love to inspire the kids and start them at an early age because, they need to be guided in the right direction. So we thought about doing it both ways and sharing my story both to them and to the adults. Of course, the adult reader is more into detail, but in the children's version is more to just inspire them and lead them in a right direction at a young age.
Yeah, that's so cool. I love the idea there, and I just thought that was brilliant. But for the people that don't know your whole story, it was October 16th, 2010. You made a crushing tackle, and it left you paralyzed, essentially. What was that moment like on the field? I mean, obviously, I'm sure there's no way to explain and describe what the feeling of paralysis is like. But I mean, after that tackle, what's the first thing that you remember?
I remember just going into a full body shock, not knowing what had happened to me. I was all nervous and everything because I really couldn't breathe. I felt like I got the wind knocked out of me. And then when I came up here, I was just like, wow, like I'm not going to die right here. Is this going to be the end of me? When Coach Yano just told me to keep on praying above me. And then once I got onto the stretcher, I did catch a gasp there for a second. I tried to give the thumbs up to the crowd, and it felt like I had a 1,000-pound cinder block right on my hand. And then when I got over to the ambulance, they put the oxygen mask on me. I thought everything was going to be okay with that. But right there, I immediately blacked out.
And then, wow, and then what was the moment like? How soon after that did they tell you that you were going to be permanently paralyzed, that it wasn't something you were just going to, kind of come out of and be fine?
Well, they never told me. They told my mom that stuff. No one was allowed in the room. I was going to show any negativity towards me. So right away, everyone that came in the room, everyone said I was going to be okay, which I really believe jump-started me to my therapy and everything else, because I really believe right there that nothing was wrong and everything was going to be okay, because that's what everyone was telling me, that I was going to be just fine, and that's what happened.
Yeah, well, great positivity there, to keep you moving forward. And then, so from day one, there was never a point where you got negative? Because it seems like, such a huge life switch for you. This is this would be like, somebody whose dream was to be a singer, and it's like they're right on the verge of their big break, and some crazy thing, robs them of their voice. Your whole life was cruising towards, playing in the NFL, and then your life kind of took a huge detour there. There was never a time where you fell into depression or anything?
No, I never fell into depression, I had moments, very few of them, but they've happened, just thinking I was never going to be able to play the game. But I've realized, this past almost 2 years now, it made me realize that football is not everything, It made me who the person I am today, but there's a life outside of football, and that's what I'm living right now, to try to support myself and my family. But I love the game of football, and I love to be around it. As much as I can be around it, I'm going to be around it, because that's what made me the man I am today.
What an inspiring, awesome attitude there. I love hearing it. It's so, I can't imagine it. I would be pissed, I'm sure, if I was in your spot, and you're just so uplifting and positive about it. I love it. When you got the word that you were going to get drafted to the Buccaneers, how cool was that to know that that dream came true, that you're officially, an NFL player?
It was pretty cool, when Coach Shannon surprised me with that. I never thought it was happening, People are like, what if they draft you with the last pick, everyone? Just not even a Tampa Bay. Just anybody. And I was just like, yeah, that's not going to happen. And then when Tampa Bay did, when Coach did, I was just like, wow. Like, you really want to pick me up? Like, I can't even play. It's like, that's the least we could do. We want this organization to be epitomized just like you are as a player. I mean, and then as a person, we want all our players to be just like that. And I was just like, wow, Coach, and this is amazing. This is my dream come true.
What an awesome moment that must have been. What about now? You said you're going to therapy 5 hours a day every day?
No, 5 days a week, 4 hours a day.
4 hours a day. And what are you doing for therapy? I mean, what do you like physically right now? Are there any changes in you physically? I mean, are there things that you couldn't do before that you're able to do now? And what do you do every day for therapy?
Oh, yeah, I'm sitting there, I work out my balance and every day. I walk on a treadmill for an hour a day when I have people walking my legs for me. I have other, as I do that, and I go work on my sitting balance, and I work on riding an arm bike where I have all these stems hooked up to my arm, and it's making my muscles contract and just going in a formation of riding a bike, which is just, try to get any type of function back. Then I work on trying to, curl my arm up, get my fingers twitching a little bit. So I do a bunch of stuff in those 4 hours, but so many different things I've been able to do now. I've been able to sit by myself, being able to control my blood pressure without getting dizzy and fainting. So many different things that happen in therapy that, all these little things that you never would think of would happen that got taken away from me, but now I'm able to do, which is great.
Yeah, nobody would imagine that. I mean, we're thinking of paralysis and can you move your arms or anything, but I wouldn't even have thought of that you've got to learn how to control your own blood pressure. I mean, things that the rest of us kind of take for granted, you've got to relearn and, retake control of.
And it's not even relearning. Since my level of injury was so high, it's my blood. My blood is basically, the brain tells the blood of where to go at certain times. And since my level of injury was so high, I was cut off at some part. So I had to, get the healing back. Thank God that he recovered me that much that I've been able to control my blood pressure, because there's people in my situation or with high level of injuries that can't stand up or or when they stand me up in the frame, that they just immediately pass out because their blood just drops straight from their brain right down to their feet, and they don't have enough blood in their head. And with my situation, I've been able to get that back, and I've been very fortunate because it's been very huge for my therapy and what I've been able to do.
That's amazing. What about some people on our text line here want to know about Devin Walker, who was paralyzed earlier this season in a football game. Have you spoken to him, or what would you say to him if you had a chance to talk to him? I mean, if he's facing a similar injury as you.
I did reach out through a friend to get to him, but we haven't really talked because I know the exact situation that he's going through. He's only 2.5 weeks in, and when I was 2.5 weeks in, I really wasn't talking to anybody besides my family and my friends, and that's what he needs to do right away is keep them in the loop and talk to them, because they're going to be the ones that's going to be taking care of him for a while now. And right away, you just got to come off being positive. You can't be negative through the situation. Everything happens for a reason. That's what I truly believe in. If you weren't put your life was through football, as I always said, my life was through football, but I wasn't put here to play football for the rest of my life. I was put here to do bigger and better things, and that's what I want him to think and really believe and tone into right away. But as soon as I get I'm going to give him a little bit of time to rest up and get healthy, because that's what you need right away. You got to get healthy first. Then I'm going to reach out to him and really talk to him about life, because I don't know if he's ready for that yet.
Yeah. What a great thing to give him his space, but also just to know that, for him to know that you're there to be able to speak to him and kind of let him know what you went through. What about, you said, your life is football and you're around football now, and what do you think about these replacement refs? That's obviously the talk around football right now. It's all about these replacement refs and the blown calls. What's your opinion on those guys?
Yeah, they gotta get the refs back. You can't be Roger Goodell, can't be stubborn in whatever's going on in that system. You gotta get the real refs back, because you're losing the integrity of the game. The players are getting frustrated, and now the outcome you saw of the game has finally been turned. And you're always waiting for that day when you say that, all right, they're not that bad, until it really affects their team. And the Packers got a loss because of that, because that was really an interception right there. So you gotta get these regular refs back, because it's just ruining the integrity of the game, and it's it's not easy to watch.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. Eric, what do you have to say? I'm sure we're going to have some young fans listening to this interview and stuff. What do you have to say to young people that are out there playing football right now on a regular basis, who kind of dream of following in your footsteps and, playing football and being around football for the rest of their lives? Just follow the dream? I mean, what would you say to these guys?
I tell them to commit themselves to excellence, follow your dream. If you love the game, then definitely go out there and do it and give it 100%. But if you don't love it, don't play the game because you're either going to get hurt, ruin your team because you don't care that much. And you'll be that one that's always getting in trouble in the back and making the team have to get disciplined for it. So if you don't love the game and love being around it or not passionate for it, then I would tell you not to play. But if you are, you're going to commit yourself to it and sacrifice whatever you have to do for that game. Play that game because it'll be one of the greatest teachers of life for you.
There you go. I couldn't be more inspired this morning, man, Eric. Hopefully you'll get up here to Billings sometime on your motivational speaking tour. I'd love to hear from you in person. But for all of us that are waiting for that day, we can hear from you in your book, Believe, which is out now. There's the adult version and a children's version. Both of them sound excellent, and I'd love to read more about your story. So I encourage everybody to go pick it up. Eric LeGrand, thank you so much for joining us this morning, Eric, and you have a great day, my man, and good luck with the recovery.
Hey, thank you, guys. Make sure you pick up that book. I hope you guys really enjoy it.
All right. See you, Eric. Have a good one, man.
The Big J Show. Weekday mornings from 6 till 10 on Billings' #1 hit music station, Hot 101.9.